We're live.
Good morning. It is sine die, the 12th of April, 2021, 11 o'clock in the morning. This is the House Judiciary Committee, and we're going to have a voting session. But first, we're going to go through, and the committee would like to say thank you. Thank you very much to so many people who have made it possible for us this year to keep the committee moving and to keep us moving in this virtual session, at least for the committee's purposes. So I do want to recognize first the staff of the subcommittee chairs who were so helpful to committee staff in running their virtual meetings, including Andrew Stover with Delegate Cardin's office, Janine Johnson with Delegate Moon's office, Jeremiah Pope with Delegate Crutchfield's office, and Liz Twigg with the Vice Chair's office. And we thank them all very much for their help. On my staff, there are several of them who are on here. We can let them show their video if they want, and I just to thank them very much. Everett there is Everett Shurtleff is there. He's got his headphones on. He is our intern at Towson University, who's been providing administrative support. And I'm getting to you, Whitney. Please don't butt in. It's just hang on a second. All right. So Everett's done a great work in helping out with constituent services. Libby is here, and Libby Farrell's here, and has been doing work on policy on the committee and some social media work to keep Marylanders informed about what we've been up to. Will Shorter has been helping extensively with constituent services for people, as all of our staff have been doing all over the state, but constituent services, particularly for people seeking help with unemployment, has been taking up a huge amount of his time, along with somehow keeping the schedule intact. And now, there she is, everybody, Whitney Duck. Whitney Duck here in the committee here for sine die. She is feeling a little better. She had been here every day until she had the car accident. She has really done a phenomenal job as well, keeping the public advised of our new procedures and dealing with technical issues, and has helped all of the committee staff and the committee's staffers maneuver and participate in help us have our constituents participate in the legislative process. So we thank Whitney very much and are so happy that she's here. And Dylan did something. So then we have the council. Now I guess we have to say something nice about Dylan. Dylan has been amazing this year and has absolutely kept the train on the tracks when all 22 of us have sought to rip it off of the tracks, I think sometimes simultaneously. He's done it with great spirit, with a wonderful positive attitude, and just incredible amount of hard work, and I'm deeply appreciative to him and to all of his work this year. I'm so grateful that I boosted you out of HGO. So anyway, we also, I would be remiss if I didn't thank council. My goodness. And all of them have had just an enormous amount to deal with this year. In fact, we got bumper stickers made up apparently, and that this about sums it up. It seems like they have a lot on their plate. That about sums up judiciary in 2021 this year. Will Shorter got those done, and they're fantastic. But first, obviously, the sheer breadth of what we were working on related to police reform meant that you had to have the greatest counsel to ever work on these issues. And quite frankly, that is Claire Rossmark. She is fantastic. She has worked so incredibly hard this year. And we're so appreciative for all of her long nights, all of the hard work that she's done. I mean, and it says also that Holly Vandergriff is on the call as well. Holly, with everything related to housing and evictions and the work in the civil subcommittee. And, she's still kind of a newer counsel, but she has picked it up and run with it. And that has been, she's been incredible too. Lauren, with all of these juvenile justice bills, the whole reform council, everything that's been going on with those issues, she has been doing a wonderful job. And apparently we won't be done with those issues quite yet today. So there's those issues too. So I'm blessed to have and fortunate to have three of the best councils here in the legislature. I don't know if they're on here, but we could thank the Speaker's office generally, and certainly thank Pat O'Leary and Matt Jackson in his first session in the Speaker's office on police reform. You may have heard there's another person who's sort of behind the scenes. Her name is Alexandra Hughes. I'm not sure what she does, but she's been a great help. And of course, we want to thank Speaker Jones for everything that she has done and the support she's shown the committee. I want to thank all the committee members, and I won't drag this on too much longer, and I won't talk about you all individually, but certainly want to thank all of you for all of your hard work. We heard from 2,000 different citizens of the states of Maryland, I think. It was 2,000 people who came to testify here in the Judiciary Committee this year. We put in the work, and I think this committee has a lot to be proud of as we finish our work. I want to recognize our newest members, Delegate Cham and Delegate Rachel Jones, who we have brought so much to our committee. I want to thank the subcommittee chairs, Delegates, Cardin and Crutchfield and Moon, and the vice chair, and I'll say more about the vice chair in a second. I want to thank Delegate Malone and the Republican members of the committee for your work this year, and thank you for everything that you genuinely do bring to the committee. And last but not least is the Vice Chair Atterbury, who has done an absolutely extraordinary job on police reform, on so many different issues. She's my friend, and people are jealous of what we have. I'll tell you that right now. But we work well together, and she helps keep our committee working well. So I'm deeply indebted to her, and deeply indebted again to each and every one of you. So with that, I thank you all very, very much, and thank you for all of your hard work. We have a little under 13 hours left to go. They will be action-packed and fun-filled. So here we go. Let's start to get this show on the road. Thank you all very, very much for being with us today, and all the staff who have joined onto the call. Thank you very, very much. All right. So now, when we last left our show, it was Senate Bill 515, Senator Klossmeyer's bill. Delegate Cox had an amendment that he offered, and there was a second on the amendment. We had plenty of discussion, I think, before, and there were other issues that we needed to get to on Saturday. So there was a motion for the previous question, so we'll go ahead and take a vote on Delegate Cox's amendment that would add part of his legislation banning people from living 1,000 feet from a school, banning people on the sex registry from living within 1,000 feet of a school or a child care facility. With that, we'll call a question. All those in favor of Delegate Cox's amendment, please raise your hands. Delegate Cox, Cham, Arakan, Malone, Griffith, Jones, Grammer, McComas. All those opposed to Delegate Cox's amendment, please raise your hands. Delegates Moon, Atterbury, Lopez, Anderson, Conaway, Bartlett, Fisher, Crutchfield, Shetty, Williams, Deborah Davis, Cardin. Just making sure. Right, the amendment fails. We're now on the bill. There are no amendments to the bill. Is there a motion on the bill?
Move the bill.
Motion for a favorable in the second.
Second.
We discussed this, I think, pretty extensively already, so we're going to go to a roll call. The Vice Chair,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Arakan,
Yes.
Bartlett,
Yes.
Cardin,
Yes.
Conaway,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Crutchfield,
Yes.
Deborah Davis,
Yes.
Juanika Fisher,
Sorry, the mute. Yes.
Grammer,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Rachel Jones,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Malone,
Yes.
McComas,
Yes.
Moon,
Yes.
Shetty,
Yes.
Cham,
Yes.
Williams. Delegate.
I say muty issues, yes.
Okay, thank you. That is 20. That bill passes favorable. We have a number of bills for which we're being asked if we're going to concur. House Bill 316. This is the home detention bill. The Senate made a change to the work group. That was the only change that they made that I saw in the bill. And I'd like to make a motion to concur with the Senate's amendments.
Second.
Motion in a second. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of concurring with the Senate amendments, please raise your hands. Delegates Cox, Cham, Arakan, Anderson, Lopez, Atterbury, Malone, Crutchfield, Bartlett, Conaway, Jones, Williams, Shetty, Griffith, McComas, Deborah Davis, Cardin. Anyone opposed? All right, seeing none, we concur in the Senate amendments. We'll move that up. On House Bill 425, we passed, this is the cross file of the ransomware bill. And so this just concurs in the Senate amendments. I'm making a motion to concur. We already passed the Senate bill. It's already heading to the governor's desk. So this would concur in the changes and align the two bills.
Second.
Motion in the second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. On the motion to concur, all in favor of the motion to concur, please raise your hands. Delegates Cox, Cham, Arakan, Anderson, Lopez, Atterbury, Malone, Crutchfield, Fisher, Bartlett, Conaway, Rachel Jones, Grammer, Williams, Shetty, Griffith, McComas, Davis, Cardin. Delegate Moon, I can't tell whether you're raising your hand or you're just propping your head up. That's okay.
Sorry, I missed that vote.
All right, that's fine. Anybody opposed? I don't think anybody's opposed. All right, so that we're concurring with that one. House Bill 222 is value my vote. This is Delegate Wilkins' bill, and Delegate Conway is raising. Were you raising your hand? You're appointed to somebody else. Okay. Holly, could you give us a quick update on what the Senate did to 222?
Sure. So they have basically taken 222 back to how it was introduced. They struck the ballot box, they struck the ombudsman, and they struck the toll hotline for voting information. The bill, as amended, basically just provides individuals who are no longer incarcerated or being released with voter information, and then also the department shall provide voter registration to those eligible voters within the facility. And that's what the bill does now. It's joint. Ways and Means is concurring right now, and they are primary. And so that's where it stands.
Move to concur.
It's a motion to concur. Is there a second? And a second. Delegate Chandler for discussion.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, this is exciting. This is interesting. So I lost my train of thought. Yes. How now are people who are incarcerated voting? Do they vote by mail-in ballot? And how are they informed when election dates are coming?
I think that's what this seeks to address, is that it allows for signs to be posted for upcoming elections, just telling them generally that that's the case. I don't believe that that part is required. I will say that in the conversations that I had with EPSCS, they do a number of these things already. A lot of, let me start with first principles. You can't vote if you're a felon and you're incarcerated.
Right.
You can't vote if you're being charged and you haven't been convicted of a felony. You also you can vote if you were convicted of a misdemeanor. You can still vote even if you're incarcerated, so that you would be able to return your ballot usually by mail. This would make it, you'd be able to get an absentee ballot or request the absentee ballot form and turn it in so that you could vote.
So
Stop talking.
those few, I'm sure this is probably a very minute pool of people, if they are charged with being charged with a felony and it happens to be an election year, those people can vote. But once they're charged with a felony at that point,
no, if they're convicted of a felony.
Convicted, okay.
Convicted of a felony, you cannot vote while you're incarcerated or during the term of your probation. So you're convicted, you serve maybe a period of time, and then you serve a period of probation. You wouldn't be able to vote during that time. You have to complete your sentence. If you're charged with a crime and you haven't been convicted of a felony, then that doesn't impact this at all. If you were charged with a felony and had committed a felony in the past, well, you would have to have finished that period of probation to do that.
Gotcha.
The majority of people who this would impact are people who are in local detention centers, to be clear. This would be people who are being detained this is not going to impact people at North Branch or at ECI or at Supermax. This is going to impact people at a local detention center and at least provide them with the information that they need to get an absentee ballot.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, are there further questions? Seeing none, the motion is on the motion to concur in the Senate amendments. All those in favor of concurring on the Senate amendments, please raise your hands. Delegates Cox, Sham, Eric Boone, Anderson, Lopez, Atterbury, Malone, Crutchfield, Fisher, Bartlett, Conaway, Jones, Grammer, Williams, Shetty, Griffith, McComas, Davis, and Cardin. Anyone opposed? Don't see any opposition. All right, we will concur in the Senate amendments. To check. We still have other pieces of legislation that are going to be coming over, I think, today. What I would anticipate, committee, is I would anticipate that we will be back with a voting session probably certainly after this first session. So my guess is, just to give you all a heads up, where normally I give sort of a lag period that in the past I've used for people to be able to get back home, like, for example, not to make fun of Delegate Cox again, but he has to drive basically to Penmar. But I'm assuming that nobody is driving back tonight, and so we will almost certainly have voting sessions about 15 minutes after the end of the floor sessions today. And I keep poking at Delegate Cox because I think he is not actually the person, although he is not the person who you think lives the furthest away. I think that is Delegate Cham, but I think it's close between the two of them, and we'll find out. Delegate Cox has a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really, and my wife appreciates your your consideration for us. But yeah, I think we'll be here late. So I just real quick, as a Delegate Mangione had a bill for senior citizen voting. I just, as a matter of question, was that something in this committee? I couldn't
No.
recall if that was not in
It's
this.
in Ways and Means.
Ways and Means.
No.
Okay.
That's in Ways and Means.
All right. Just wanted
And
to check.
by the way, Delegate Cox, that bill, which had a really rough time in delegation because it was going to impact assisted living centers that were also voting centers for non-residents, and it was going to negatively impact it. So there were other issues with that bill. I think they were mostly worked out, but I know it took a long time. So that bill wound up getting to committee late. So.
So the other part of sine die, and this for several members of the committee is going to be kind of one of the first maybe real sine dies that we've seen, especially at this point in session. The councils are working very hard to conform bills and get bills ready to go. And so there are sometimes delays because we are trying to catch up with, catch things from the Senate and move them. So I will admit that I'm waiting here a little bit just to make sure, but okay, actually now do have the other bill on the voting list. This is a cross file of the correctional of the dim credit bill. This was Jeanette Wilkins' bill. This is Senator Carter's cross file, and there are amendments to conform it.
Janelle Wilkins bill.
What did I
It's not
say?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. It's okay. It's been a long session. It's totally.
And she sits behind me on the floor, so it's going to be fun for me for the next couple hours. So that's all right. Oh my God, Janelle. A long time ago, I knew a Jeanette Wilkins. So that's the first time I've done that. And to Jeanette,
Makes you feel any better? Nobody's called me by my first name all session, so.
Is that a Freudian slip?
not really. I don't think.
Not really?
I don't think so.
Griffith sounds better than Mike.
All right. Now that we've cleared that up, there's an amendment that would conform Senate Bill 397 to the version that House, or no, I'm sorry, the Senate bill would be conformed to how House Bill 89 passed the Senate and we passed it off the floor of the House. So I need a motion to accept.
Move to conform.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor of the motion to conform, please raise your hands. It's probably party call. Delegate Moon, Moon, Anderson, Lopez, Atterbury, Crutchfield, Fisher, Bartlett, Conaway, Jones, Williams, Shetty, Davis, and Cardin. All those opposed to the motion to conform? Delegate Malone, Griffith, McComas, Erican, Cham. Did I get to everybody? I don't see Delegate Grammer, so Cox, and I apologize, Delegate Cox. The motion to accept the conforming amendment passes. We're now on Senate Bill 397. Can I have a motion as amended?
Move favorable.
Motion for favorable in a second. All right. Okay, so motion for favorable in a second. I think it's conforming. I don't know that we need any conversation. I don't see anybody who wants to talk about it anyway. Delegate Atterbury.
Yes.
God, I am out of it. Delegate Anderson.
Yes.
Erican.
No.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Cardin.
Yes.
Conaway.
Yes.
Cox.
Oh.
Crutchfield.
Yes.
Deborah Davis.
Yes.
Juanita Fisher.
Yes for Jeanette.
That's great. Not living this down all day long. That's just great. Love you all so much. Delegate
We
Grant.
love you.
No, please.
Got it. Delegate John Griffith.
Nope. But
Okay. Delegate I'm sorry, Griffith. Delegate Rachel Jones,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
Malone,
No.
McComas.
For Jeanette, no.
Hate you all so much. Delegate Moon,
Yes.
Delegate Shetty,
Yes.
Delegate Cham.
I'm a no, and just for all of you to know, my middle name is Jeanette, and it's a beautiful name.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Delegate Williams.
Yes.
I'm naming everyone Jeanette now. I don't care. That's fine. The motion passes. Thank you all very much. I think that's what we've got for right now. I am, again, certain that we will be coming back this afternoon, and we will handle some more concurrences. But for now, that is where we are. And that concludes this.
Question?
I'm sorry, Delegate Anderson.
Yeah. So the link to the next meeting will appear how long before the next meeting?
We'll get it to you, but I recognize that's going to be more of a challenge for you in particular. So we'll try and why don't we do this? Let's say that the next voting session, making it clear to everyone listening that it may be a little before or a little after 3 o'clock. But in likelihood, it will be sometime on or about 3 o'clock, depending on how long this first floor session goes.
Okay, the vice chair usually keeps me up to date, so I'll stick with her too.
Thanks.
Thanks.
That's usually good advice in any case. All right. Thank you all very much. That concludes this first voting session today on the 12th of April. Thank you.